What up, Lit Squad? So I got some updated information for you guys. I think I told you that I worked my first job, I work at Wendy's, and then my second job, I work at a warehouse, or whatever the case is. So one, I work from 4:30 to 12, and then Wendy's, I work from 8:30 to 2:30. And basically, my first day of working both jobs was on Monday. And I ended up getting off Wendy's at she ended up letting me off at like 2:10 instead of 2:30. I was a little bit upset because I'm just like, nah, I need them full 6 hours, because if I'm working 8 hours and 30 minutes at the other job, I need my checks to be anywhere from $39.50 to about 4,000 something. And that's basically what it was rounding out to. So I ended up working at Wendy's Monday from from 9 to 2:10, and then I ended up going to the second job, and I actually got off a couple of 12 minutes early, but I wasn't the only one, so I'm not even really tripping about it. That day I don't think I was necessarily fully prepared. I should have worn my peacoat jacket instead of my son's bubble jacket, and I probably should have wore some different socks, because that day I was praying to Jesus. I was just like, oh my God, Lord, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Please let me make it through this. I swear to God, like, just help me get through this. Like, I'm up in there like, it's time to go. My groin's hurting, like a whole bunch of stuff, but the job is very simple. Now, next day, so I ended up going back to Wendy's or whatever, and let me tell y'all, I ended up leaving. I'm not even gonna cap to y'all, because I was just like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Lord, Father God, what have I gotten myself into? Like, what am I doing? Somebody come and save me right now, because I don't know what I'm doing. But I still managed to get up. Me and my mom was supposed to go register my son that morning, but I told her don't worry about it. We was gonna go in the afternoon. She ended up getting called in for work, so that didn't really happen, and I need her for the damn lease shit. So we just went up there to do that just now, not too long ago. And I don't know if I be speaking foreign language, but for some reason people just be misinterpreting what I'm saying. And this ties into what happened on Tuesday on top of today when I speak about that. So I'm gonna say that's what this video is gonna be about. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna name the title just yet, but that's what it's gonna be about. So when I went to Wendy's on Tuesday, or whatever the case was, there was a white lady who pulled up, and she was like, oh my God, starting regular conversation. She was like, I didn't know the prices had went up. Of course, I really don't know too much about the stuff that's been going on at Wendy's, because I've never worked at Wendy's, and I really don't eat at fast food a lot. I mean, the only fast food place that I've ever really worked at that was similar to them is McDonald's, and that was it. And I know how they operate, and if the prices went up, whatever, woot woot. So working at Wendy's is extremely different. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, I don't know. And then I was like, give me a second while I gather your money. Now, moving forward, so when somebody gives you a dollar amount that's higher than like 40 something dollars, if it's $50 or more, it requires you to have to punch in a code from a manager. So instead of me doing that, I just did what my manager told me to do the last time we had a situation like that. But at that time we were like in rush hour, so it kind of made sense as to why she just told me to go about it in the manner that she did. But if she was available, then it would have been handled completely different. So the lady gave me a $50 bill. Fast forward, I didn't get the manager's punch-in code, so that was on me, but not necessarily. And I decided to calculate how much I was supposed to give her in change on my phone, which was $28.85. And her meal was about $21 and some change. And I had the correct amount, but I guess because I was just like so thrown from working the two jobs the first day on Monday, like my mind knew exactly what I was supposed to give her, but I didn't give her that amount. I gave her that correct amount as far as in the change, but not the dollar amount. And so she pulled back, or whatever the case was, and she was like, yeah, you didn't give me the right change. And I was like, yes, I did. And then I was like, hold on, wait. And then I said, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, let me correct it. So I went to go get my manager to go get the keys so I can open up the cash register, the drawer and stuff. And she was just standing there, trying to make more conversation. And she was like, that's kind of crazy. Y'all software should be able to tell you exactly how much you're supposed to give back to the customer. And I was like, oh, it does. It's just, I had to go deeper into as to why the situation happened the way that it did, which means I had to get extremely technical. And I'm assuming that a lot of people don't like technical individuals or shit being broken down. They have a very short-term memory, short-term attention span, so they don't have time to really pay attention to somebody who's communicating to them the reason behind a certain situation. They on the move. And so I was trying to explain to her, I was like, yeah, so it requires a code, and instead of me entering that, I just entered it into my phone, and I just put here that you gave me the exact amount, because that's what my manager, I wasn't even supposed to tell her that, but that's what my manager told me to do, whatever the case was. And I said, it just so happened that before I could finish, she started interrupting me, and she was just like, yeah, that's crazy, or whatever the case was. And she was like, she just kept talking, and I was like, well, it's fine, it's not that serious when it come down to the software. And she misinterpreted, and she was like, well, it is serious when it come down to my money. And I looked at her in confusion, like, and I stayed there for a second, and she kept talking. And then I guess when she realized I was still looking at her out of confusion, that's when she was just like, what are you doing? She was like, come on, I'm holding people up and stuff. Turn around and do your job. And before she said that, I was trying to tell her, I was like, oh, you said something about it is serious when it come down to your money. And I think you misinterpreted when I was saying it's not serious. I'm talking about as far as how the system works. And she just didn't care about what I was saying. If anything, it seemed like she turned into a whole Karen. One of those people who start shit, and then when you address it, she want to start having the phone out recorded type shit and stuff. I'm not the type of person to discriminate. I don't do shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I am aware that we are not the same, but I don't care about, as far as when it comes down to skin complexion, all that doesn't determine how I treat people. I don't care if you're white, black, Asian, European, whatever the fuck you is, Mexican, does not matter. That does not determine how I treat you. So what really got me was she told me, she was like, turn around and do your job and give me my money. And I was just like, I'm saying in my head, like, girl, I'm not your slave. Like, I don't know what you think this is. That's not how you talk to somebody. And I'm just like, how did you get that? And talking about, oh, you got an attitude, this, that, and third. How do you get that from me trying to explain to you exactly what happened or whatever, making light of the conversation, because that's what you were doing. You're sitting here having a convo, and you sitting here and all of a sudden talking about you worried about holding up the line, but you over here having a whole convo when I could have got your change and you could have left. So she started talking about, oh, you got an attitude, this, that, and the third, because I'm still looking at her out of confusion. So she was like, I need a manager. I need a manager. So I'm just like, I'm laughing. I said, hey, y'all, she need a manager. And they was like, what's going on? What's up? I was like, I don't know. She just said she need a manager. Exactly how I'm speaking right now. That's exactly what I said. So old boy came up, or whatever the case is. I don't know his name, but he came up. And she was trying to say that I had an attitude and all this. And I'm sitting there looking at her ass, laughing. Because I'm just like, this girl really lying. And I'm trying to tell him, I said, so how do I have an attitude if I'm talking to you the exact same way? Like, it does not make sense. I said, I'm literally chill. You can see that I'm literally chill. If they was to pull the cameras back, it would tell, you would be able to tell. Now, this same exact situation just occurred when me and my mom just went up there to the school to get the rest of his registration done. And I'm sitting here trying to explain to them based off of what was told to me over the phone. And I'm just thinking, I'm under the impression that I could just go in, because I did that at the other school. I went in at a certain time where it was extremely late, but it was around the time they was letting kids out, and I was still able to bring the documents or whatever the case was, because I missed a phone call saying that I could have came in earlier that day, but I ended up coming at the time where they was letting the kids out. So the only thing they needed was I think they needed some legal documents, and I already had that or whatever. They said they didn't need nothing else from me because it was just easy for them to request all his paperwork from his other school. And the school that we just came from acting like they don't fucking comprehend. The lady got super offensive. Like, she got defensive. She was just like, I don't know. I don't work in registration and stuff. Like, she is an expert. I'm not an expert. And I'm just like, where did you get that from? What I'm saying. So I'm trying so hard to like contain my composure or whatever the case is. And I'm just looking, I know my mama was looking at them like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with y'all people? Like, do you not hear? Can you not like comprehend what is, the words that's coming out of her mouth? Like, do you not hear her? Like, what the fuck? I don't know what was wrong with these people. And so I feel like I repeated myself probably like 5 times before we even got somewhere. And the lady was like, you don't have all the information. And I'm just like, well, ma'am, I was told over the phone that you can request all his records, all the updated information that you need, instead of me uploading them, because I don't have to upload them. If I want to bring all his documents in just to get it squared away, I can. And if I don't necessarily want to bring them in or upload them, they can request the records to be transferred from the other school, and whatever missing documents that they need is then, that's when I will have to bring them to them. And I'm just like, bro, how many times I got to repeat myself? Like, what the hell? Somebody calling me from fucking Monte Carlo, Georgia. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, that's an update. I don't know. I gotta go to work to both jobs tomorrow, and woot woot, so on and so forth. I got paid today for my first job, which was surprising. And then I think the second job I gotta wait because they gotta give me a check or something like that, or whatever the case is, until they can get my direct deposit completely set up. And then once that's been verified, I'll get my money directed deposit to my account. But that's just a little update, y'all. I kind of had a little breakdown because I just was like, what the fuck? Like, I was at all. I wasn't even angry, if I'm being honest. Like, I really didn't even know how to go about it, like how to feel. But I had to remember that I got to push through. The goal is, you know, to get back on my feet so I can become stable, so I can be able to take care of my son and do what's best for me, and, you know, push further in life and start expanding and being able to invest into a lot of other things that I got going on as far as my businesses and my artistry or whatever, because I do want you guys to participate in those things and come along the journey to see how, you know, that goes and all of that type of stuff. So that's pretty much been it. Just trying to keep up to date on my bills, get everything completely current and to where I have no debt. I managed to get one of my credit cards completely paid off, and my credit score went up 27 points, y'all. Like, when I tell you that shit just skyrocketed, it went up 27 points. So I know for a fact if I pay my other credit card off, like, my credit score is going to go up extremely high. And then the more that I use them, not too much, but the more that I use them and pay them off, the more my credit score is going to continuously go up. So should I decide to wait until next year to move or whatever the case is, that'd be perfect, because my credit score be exactly where it needs to be. And when I start looking into investing into getting like business credit and stuff like that, when I'm looking into opening up a store for my building for my clothes, I'm definitely going to need a good credit score, and by that time I should be straight. So that's the update on that. I'll probably record some more videos later on today or tomorrow. If not, probably sometime throughout this week. I'm gonna try my best to be consistent with y'all. I appreciate y'all for being consistent with me. Thank you for all the love and the support that you guys have been giving me on this journey. We really appreciate it. Love you guys. Peace out.